once you start to get the hang of it, you start getting some upgrades, some abilities. In this game, you can get body augments. So basically, you can like change your body to like, so you can get boosters put in the bottom of your feet, spew every time you jump, like a level jump. You can use a grappling hook, which is like an intestine. There's a lot of weird stuff. You pick your weapons, you pick what weird body augmentations you want, and you go in there and you're left to kind of figure it out yourself. And when you play these missions first, you're playing them like you would as a gamer. You got the gamer mindset. You know, you're going in, finding a path, shooting your way in, get to the end, kill the guy. But once you start like learning how this game works, it's kind of encouraged to break the game. Like, yes, you could find a way in through the front door, shoot your way to the top and get your guy, or you could just grappling hook up the side of the building, kick through his window and blow his head off. Or you could stand right at his spawn point, snipe his window out, and then use bullet ricochet to just end him immediately. And all of which is so satisfying and fun to do. It's like each level is just a puzzle, but you're just left to figure it yourself. You know, it's not like puzzles in games like, oh, it's a puzzle, and then your fucking son goes, hey, do it this way, and you're like, boy, I was trying to figure it out myself. I would have got there. Like, I'm not an idiot. You don't need to tell me 2 seconds into this puzzle.
What about freezing the guys under the wheel?
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the way this game looks. Now if you've played this game, you know that eventually the visuals become less jarring. I don't know how, because it's messed up. Like, look at that, look at this. Jesus fuck. And to a lot of newcomers like myself, this was a point of contention. And I think it's really interesting, because when you look at the visuals of this game and you take a moment to really look at them, like, it's not just random nonsense. Well, it is. Looking at this game, you can tell that whoever's designed it knows how to make something look good, and they've chosen to do the opposite. Like, you have to work pretty hard to curate something as visually unappealing as this. Like, this isn't by chance, and I'm just fucking flung textures together. And to do it in such a way so that every single map and menu in this game is burned into my brain. Now, back in the old times, right, I get it by the way that you've clicked on this for a Cruelty Squad video, and you're like, why the fuck am I watching like an uneducated art history lesson? But bear with me. So art used to look like this, right? Every painting was trying to look as lifelike as possible. Everything had to be realistic, and if your art wasn't realistic,
an educated art history video.
Artists developed
an educated art history video.
Eventually, we've gotten to the point where you can make something as awful looking as this, and people think, hey, that's pretty good art. That's good art right there. Now, for me personally, I feel like the gaming industry is kind of in this era, not in the sense that everything has to look as realistic as possible, although that is part of especially the AAA market. Like, there's loads of different art styles and games out there, but all of them look pretty beautiful. I can't remember the last time I looked at a game and I was like, oh, this is trying to look as ass as possible. Like, yeah, it's cool that I can see every fucking pore on Kratos' face, but does that leave me with an impact? No. This does. Aggressively. And I don't think I've ever seen a game that's used such egregious looking graphics and horrible visuals to kind of heighten the full experience of the game. By the way, I know I'm talking a lot of shit about God of War. I've just recently played this. It's so goddamn good. Come boy. Like, it's great. Steam winter sales. Hell yeah. Now, I'm not your typical YouTube video essayist. I'm not going to be able to explain the themes and the storyline of this game in depth for an hours long video. There's plenty of them that are great. Go out and watch them. You know, I can't tell you what a goddamn Trigon is. Like, you want to understand the lore of this game, I swear, you need to get like a notebook. Like, look at this Reddit post of someone trying to explain what they think is going on in this game. Like, mate, go for a shower. That was just objectively mean, I'm sorry. So I'm going to try and speedrun my attempt at what I think is going on in this game. So let's go. So you play as a strange loser guy who's just been fired, and then this fat oaf calls you and goes, hey loser, come and work for the Cruelty Squad. And you're basically a hitman sent on missions to kill people that this organisation disagrees with. In this world, rich people can't die because they have regeneration surgery, so you can just keep paying to come back. So that's why you can replay missions and you can kill the same targets, is because they keep coming back even though you killed them. It's like this constant eternal punishment for these people, I think. And then once you die, your divine light is severed. The only way to get it back is you have to go to the final mission of the game and you get it there. Or you can go to the first mission of the game and you go to a special area and you turn your resolution to 480p and you can get it back there. And there's this weird guy and I don't know who he is. And then you can also eventually get like a death surgery, which gives you a bit more abilities, and then you can play in this weird mode. So back to the mission. So you go into the missions and you kill these people and then you get out. And once you get out, you get paid. And then you can use that money to invest in the in-game stock market so you can become very wealthy. Get that CEO mindset. And when you kill people in the missions, you can actually take their body parts and sell them on a body part stock market as well.
Okay, you got like, you lost me here. I'm sorry, I'm gonna leave. You didn't lose me, I just don't care. That's the problem. Yeah, we never looked at Soul Ash 2, did we? Let's go look. I know this is a game I won't play, but
what I found is a pretty decent way to progress in this game, at least to start. Aside from just this...
I'm gonna start over again.
Today we're checking out Soul Ash 2. This is an open-world sandbox RPG similar to Kenshi or Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode, and we'll see why in a second. It is a procedurally generated medieval fantasy world with a skill-based progression system, building, crafting, merchants, trades, professions, and it is in early access. More content keeps getting added. It is quite good. I discovered this game from Splattercat, so shout out to Splat. I'm going to echo a lot of the things he said in the idea. You can basically do anything you want in this game. You can go and just attack a town. You can fight the quest giver. You can play it just like Kenshi, become more powerful. There really is no goal, which is quite goofy and bizarre and makes for some fun situations where you just do scuffed things that you aren't supposed to in other games. But yeah, I learned to get started. I've got some of the basics down, but there are still some large gaps in what I know. So we're going to be exploring today. I know how to get the rudiments started, but let's just dive right in. So first off, we're going to go ahead and generate a world. I'm actually going to just leave these worlds behind. Let's just delete these worlds that I created. Here's a few of them. It just takes a minute for it to kind of show up. I'm going to make a pretty large world because I think this is advantageous if we should survive for a long time, and we will call it a world.
Thank you, ambiguous amphibian VODs.
Let's create it, and now it's just generating the world. So it creates the landmass, kind of like in Dwarf Fortress. You can travel from left to right on the world map. We do have a lot of water coverage on this world, but it still does appear to be pretty large for our exploration. So I'm okay with that, and we will, okay, now we have to rename it A World. Save. Okay, so now it is creating the world history. So it's going through all of the years. I don't know why it goes to 100, because I just requested 50. I guess if you want to progress history more, that must be what that's for, because otherwise it just seems to generate 100 years of history. Kind of like in Dwarf Fortress, and you can see that many roads have been made. If you want to go with like a more primitive world, I suppose that is an option. But you have 3 modes to pick from. You have high fantasy, which is sort of like respawn, very easy kind of mode. Character doesn't age, can't die from starvation or dehydration. Skills required 2 months. This is like kind of baby, so I know. No, I won't be doing that today. Dark fantasy is kind of the intended way of playing where your character dies. But the world still exists, or hardcore when the world is destroyed when you die. I think I'm going to go with dark fantasy. That is a pretty good one to start. Okay, we need a name. I'm thinking like... Okay, so we have created our character, Flingelgondel. That's his first and last name. You could pick from one of several other races in the game. You could even be a Mushman, and they all have different strengths. I think we'll just go with like human, keep it simple for this time. We will do adventuring, because adventuring gives you several really useful items. Having a knight can be kind of like good perk on a main landmass, and it would be nice. But pick kind of a few UI things. Farvar, family. Okay, so yeah, we're on our own at Farvar Village. I mean, spawn in here. We are this kind of like token representation of a character. I'm just gonna explain a few UI things. So. This is a new system where it's up, like, doing this back up, which is a little, like, disconcerting, honestly. Or we could navigate by clicking, which can be kind of useful. Both.
Wormhole attackers.
Does Dune live up to all the hype? Is it as good as everyone's saying it is? Well, let's talk about it. I'm going to give you the full rundown on my experience as a solo player, starting from early game to mid game. Two things we got to cover before we jump into it. First off, this video has been sponsored by the fantastic people over at G-Portal. Also, this is not a full review. I'm pretty sure I made that clear by stating that it was from only early game to mid game, but just to ensure that I drive home the point, this is not a full review. This is a review from a solo player from beginning to mid-game. I will do a full review once I get to end-game to give you the full rundown on what the entire gameplay experience is like as a solo player. Okay, so what have my first 24 hours in Dune Awakening been like?
I'm going to switch out this spear now. I mean, it's a nice 725 spear. Well, I don't know. I do want to finish Hatchet. I guess I'll finish Hatchet, but I want to switch out Hatchet for something else. I'm going to switch out Spear and Hatchet when I'm done for, because this stuff has dex, focus, and a lot of this gear is bad anyways. It's just, you know, high level gear, whatever. They should let you refocus the stats on it. I wish they would. But yeah, I'll go, what's it called? Damn it. I will go great hammer, great axe.
First off, it was a very, very rocky start. I spent an hour and a half on stream live just trying to get into the game. Some of you, I'm sure, were there for all of that shenanigans. It was an absolute disaster. I made my character. I got locked into a loop with old grandma there, constantly asking me questions, told me I was good to go, load into the game, but no. I go into a black screen, back into talking to grandma again, asking me the same questions over and over and over again. I thought my character was bugged. I attempted to delete my character. It told me I was unable to do that. When I finally got into the game, it put me in the wrong server. I was in some other server as a guest. I don't know. I thought you had to be invited to another server as a guest, but it sure put me in another server as a guest in which I could not complete any of the missions that you have to complete as a player.
Of course not. This was the experience I expected.
I couldn't even put down a respawn point.
At least he's being
That
honest.
was terrible, so I left the game and attempted to get back in, got put into a queue for a little bit, but eventually made it into the game. Very rocky start, and I almost rage quit. And I'm sure some of you are like, that sounds like a terrible start.
That sounds like
Funcom.
Yeah.
Hold up there, Bob. Don't go jump into conclusions just yet. Though it was a very rocky start, but once I got into the game, finally, it was a pretty smooth experience. I didn't run into too much lag. I've only run into one game-breaking bug so far that more or less put me into a soft lock where I had to exit the game and go back into it in order to get out of it. It was during my third trial. I got stuck in that trial and I died and it locked me into it. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't die. The enemies couldn't kill me. I couldn't kill the enemies and I was just stuck, and I did a bug report and then restarted. I think that happened on stream live as well. General gameplay beyond that for the past 24 hours that I've been in game have been pretty dang smooth. I don't have any real complaints. I've had one small occasion where I rubber banded just a little bit, but that was one time in 24 hours, so that's not enough for me to make any complaints about lag. I would say that's absolutely fantastic. I do think, however, that soft lock bug is rather unacceptable for a game that is supposedly considered complete. That stuff should have been ironed out a long time ago. But overall, good experiences all around. Alright, so we can't talk about early game without talking about the character creator. Character creator is good. I have zero complaints. They give you plenty of sliders to mess with, and you can make a unique enough and good-looking character. Plus, they give you a butt slider, so how can you go wrong? Let's talk about bases. So they have you build a base. Obviously, you're going to build a base in this game. You start off with a little crappy one, and then you build a better one. And base building itself is fine. I think the interface is relatively intuitive once you get used to it. You got a lot of different options, and overall, it's a pretty good base building system. You're going to be able to get relatively creative. I do have some slight gripes, but it's nothing that is a deal breaker for me about bases. I kind of understand why they did some things, but I think they were a bit too restrictive on overall about base mechanics. You're limited on everything that you can do. You can only place so many structure pieces, you can only place so many storage boxes, everything as you can see here on the screen. It gives you the full breakdown of what I can currently do in my base. These are all of my hard limits here. Once I reach them, there's nothing I can really do but just build another base, of which you can only have a max of 3. And you'll see these rules and restrictions on every aspect of the game as you continue to explore.
I like
more.
this guy. He's
The game
good. Who is
very
this?
linear. It's open world.
Fire
but
Spark
it is
81. You can tell. Yeah, he's good. I
Everything
like him.
from
He's
what
good.
you can unlock, when you can unlock it, restrictions on
This looks
base,
so
how
crappy
it-
to me. This looks worse than Once Human. I'm sorry, but it does. It looks way worse than Once Human. Graphics look worse. Like, I'm sorry, but Once Human did set a fucking standard that you guys are not living up to at all. Like, at all.
Leads you through everything. It locks your different abilities until you do different quests in order to unlock them. While you can go to anywhere that you want at any given point of time on the map, like, you're not going to be able to do anything with some of the stuff
like
that
what?
you get there.
Yeah.
You won't be able to mine some of the resources that you'll see in other locations if you just go to some random place on the map you shouldn't be yet. And the enemies will basically be impossible to kill. So while you can do it, doing it makes no sense. You just won't. And that's fine. A linear experience I don't have any problems with. I just want to make sure people realize that that's the case, because a lot of people are going to go into this game expecting something like their previous top title, which was Conan Exiles, where you could start off day one and go solo a boss if you were good enough to do so and could exploit it and do some jank and nonsense. You're not going to pull that off in this game. You're going to follow the path they have set out for you, and that's it. Let's talk about that path and some of my experiences while being out and about and doing dungeons. And, well, they're basically dungeons. They're like camps. Some are big, some are small, and they got eco labs that are kind of dungeony like, but I'm just going to refer to them as dungeons. One big problem I have with the way that they did a lot of this stuff, and I can understand some of the camps being just out in the open and not instance, but I really feel like the eco labs and the bigger camps should have been instance, because they're not. You go to them, and if your server is highly populated, you're just going to run through them collecting loot, because loot in them is instance. So you'll get your loot, but there's nothing to do. You're just running through a dungeon where somebody has already murdered everybody and you're picking up loot, and it's kind of boring. It's definitely not
I
fun,
know.
at least
I
not
saw it
to
right
me.
away.
I would much rather
I
go
played
into
so
a
many of
dungeon
these
and find
now.
stuff like
I
this
know
while
which
playing
ones are
video games.
good.
I mean, some of you may just want to go in there and pick up loot.
I'm like a
and buy stuff.
76
That's
god.
great
I've got
for
like
you.
5K on
You're gonna love a
76.
populated server because
I'm at like 1,000 hours or
it's
something on
awesome.
Once
But for
Human
me,
now,
it
or
just kinda
something
sucks when I
dumb.
run into a dungeon
Or whatever,
and there's just a bunch
500, I
of
forget
corpses
what it
running
is.
around, and I just run through and loot them, go to the end, get the chest,
I've got
and
like,
walk out.
I don't know,
Even more so
thousands
than
of
I was
hours in New
expecting
World.
it to
I
be.
know
But
which ones are
there's a
good.
caveat here. You
And
can
this one,
avoid
this
all
game
of
did
that
not
if
strike
you grab a
me
server
as
from
good.
today's sponsor,
These
G-Portal.
graphics
Dive
suck. Like this suck.
into top tier gaming with G-Portal, fast, reliable, and ready for action. Experience instant setup, 24/7 support, and unbeatable performance. Their intuitive UI makes it extremely easy to get your server up and running fast. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. And with competitive prices, you can be sure you're getting the best bang for your buck. Join G-Portal today by clicking my link down in the description for 10% off your first month. Though because their private servers are the entire Haga Basin, that means you won't experience any of this if you limit the amount of people on your server. If you limit your server to just you and your friends, you will never run into this issue. You'll go into a dungeon, there will always be enemies there. Now, is it possible this is going to affect your end game? Maybe, because it's expected you're going to PvP with some people, but maybe you don't want to PvP and you won't run into a lot of people on whatever world your Haga Basin is connected to. That's going to vary from person to person, but a majority of your gameplay is going to be in Haga Basin. A lot of it, like a lot of it. A majority of your money's worth of the game is going to be in Haga Basin. So you're going to want the best experience there possible. And if going into an empty dungeon sounds terrible for you, well then public server probably won't be your jam, unless you can find a really unpopulated one, which gonna be kind of hard to do right now, but maybe in a couple years. Moving on, let's talk about combat. So combat overall is fine. I don't really have any problems with it, but I will state that I do not like the melee combat. I just don't like it. I don't like that I have to stamina. I'm not trying to
I
parry.
do
I'm
not like the
trying to
melee
block.
combat. I just don't like it.
button to try to do the slow attack through the shields. I just don't like anything about it. But that's personal preference. I've experienced it. I wouldn't say it's terrible. It's not the best I've ever seen, but I wouldn't call it trash. I would call it acceptable melee combat that I don't enjoy. Ranged combat, on the other hand, I do enjoy. It's a lot of fun. I personally use the sniper rifle as much as possible, and popping people in the head from a distance without them having any idea what's going on never gets old. So yeah, I think combat is going to vary from person to person, which you like the most, because there are some people out there that I know for a fact do enjoy the melee. They don't even touch the guns, and you can get away with that. And you can also pretty much never touch melee if you don't want to do that. They've done a pretty good job in making sure that you can choose one or the other, or both if you prefer to do some type of hybrid shenanigans. And like I said, while I wouldn't call combat exceptional, it's not doing anything outstanding or genre breaking, it's fine. It gets the job done. Okay, so I think that covers most of the things that you're going to experience early game. Let's talk about, after you've been in it for a while, heading on to mid-game. The mid-game grind is real. You need a ton of resources for everything constantly in this game. Everything in this game is fleeting. Nothing lasts. Everything has durability, everything needs to be repaired, and every time you repair it, it loses maximum durability, meaning you need to just constantly be on that resource grind. Now, it's not terrible. As you go on, things get increased durability, and you can learn some skills to reduce the amount of durability lost when you're repairing and yada yada yada, but nothing is permanent, so you always have to be out there on the grind, and you always have to be concerned about water. Water is going to be one of the main things that kind of holds you back, because as you get more advanced and start getting more advanced tech, that more advanced tech takes water. Water is something that's going to be a very limiting factor almost always. Even if you've got really, really good water production, it's just going to be one of those things that you're always after, because basically everything takes it. You're also going to be doing a lot of the camps that give you intel and really focused on that so that you can unlock and progress faster, because they limit you on intel in the sense that you only get so much per level, and in order to actually progress fast enough and far enough along, you're going to need to do those camps to get additional intel. Now, one thing that I think is nice that they did is that you will constantly get a stream of resources just from being out doing stuff. So while you need a lot of resources, and you will for sure be out, just grinding resource nodes and water and stuff like that, you're also going to just get a constant stream of the resources that you will need for whatever area that you're in at any given point of the game that you're in. So let's say you just enter mid-game and you're just getting into iron. Well, if you're fighting stuff that's around iron level, you're going to be getting other iron related things. This is really nice because it means when you take a break from the node grinding farm and you go out to, off a couple of people at one of the camps or the dungeons, you're still getting resources coming at you that you're going to use. It's not like a situation where it was with Conan Exiles, for example, where you would often go do a dungeon and it's like a whole bunch of trash that you don't need. You're like, what? Why? Why am I getting sticks when I'm in Star Metal Gear, right? You're not going to experience that here. You're going to get stuff that's equivalent to the level that you're in that you're definitely going to want. And once in a while, you get a couple of cool items as well. They'll throw in some blueprints in there, which once again are fleeting. They're a one-time use. That thing's going to have durability. Every time you repair it, max durability going to go down, meaning that you're going to need to go back if you like that thing and eventually farm that blueprint again. But a majority of what you're going to get while in one of these places is just resources that you need to craft other things. And it may even be possible to play the game only fighting. I'm not 100% sure. That's something I'm going to need to test just to see if you actually get enough sustainable resources to do so without doing any node farming, but I'm not 100% sure on that. You do get stuff that you would get from nodes, but I'm not sure it would be enough to be sustainable. But overall, mid-game is where that grind for just literally everything really starts to kick in. And let me tell you, it's real. You're going to spend quite some time in the mid-game just grinding resources to get to the Ornithopter, which takes you into late game. But you're going to honestly need more than that, because you're going to need the armor and the weapons to support that, and you're going to have to grind for all that too. Let's talk about builds and build diversity. Most of the skill trees are pretty easy to unlock, and there is a good variety of active and passive skills to choose from. And they allow you to mix and match at will. And you can also respec every 48 hours. I think this is going to lead to a pretty good amount of build diversity here, due to the fact that there's a lot of synergies between the different classes. For example, the Trooper and the Mentat have a lot of synergies going on for ranged combat. The Blade Master and the Bene Gesserit have a lot of synergies going on for close range combat, melee combat. And then you have the Planetologist that just kind of falls in the middle of all of those, that definitely has its uses for gathering, and I'm sure most people will will end up putting a couple points into Planetologist. But overall, I'm not disappointed in the build options and the variety of skills that are offered. I would say it's just enough to make it easy for entry-level people, but complex enough that it's not too simplified, if that makes sense. It's in a good spot. Once again, not doing anything genre-shattering, but it's not bad. So a few things that I've noticed that I'm not really sure what category they fit into, but I wanted to make you aware of them. The UI, it's not the best. I mean, it's fine, it gets the job done, but there are some things that I wish that it did differently. Like, for example, when you go to unlock new stuff, it doesn't show you the stats on the new thing that you're unlocking. I guess it just expects you to unlock it, and then you can care about the stats. I would kind of like to know the stats beforehand to know if I want to unlock, you know, a weapon over something else, because maybe the weapon only does like 5 extra points of damage, and I don't think that's going to be enough to justify spending my points on it when I could do something that's going to get me more water. As someone who enjoys min-maxing, that's just a feature that I would like to have. I know some people won't care. You're just going to go through and unlock everything. That's fine. You will be able to unlock most, if not everything, I'm pretty sure, with as many points as they give you and as high as level as you can reach. But in early game, when the points kind of matter, I want to know what I'm unlocking before I unlock it. I really enjoy what they've done with gravity in this game. The gravity play in this game, absolutely fantastic. They got different kinds of suspensor belts, and you can get the sugar wire claw, which just launches you in a direction depending on the suspensor belt you have. Like, it's just fun, the verticality of it all. And you would think that, oh, it's Dune, it's a giant desert, there's not going to be any verticality. There's a ton, and it's a lot of fun to play, and it's enjoyable the way they did it. They did a fantastic job on just the mobility of your character. I have a feeling that the repetition is eventually going to get rather boring. I'm not 100% sure on this, just call it a gut instinct. And not just boring for me, I think it's going to get boring for a lot of people. I'm not sure what the continual draw to play the game is. From what I've heard about the end-game loop, I mean, if you're not into PvP, even if you are into PvP, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to keep people wanting to do it. I don't know. I'll let you know in the full review. But I just wanted to let you know that I do think that the repetition of the game is going to get boring at some point. And I guess that could be said for all games. So, final verdict, is it fun? Yeah, I'm having a good time. I played for 12 hours straight, 2 days in a row, so I can't say I wasn't having fun, because I wouldn't have played that long if I wasn't. So I was definitely having a good time. I would say that the base game is definitely worth the value if you like the things you're hearing and seeing about the game. If you've watched gameplay, like a live stream for, let's say, 2-3 hours or more, and you're like, this looks kind of enjoyable, you're probably going to enjoy it. If you've watched a bunch of videos on it and you've watched a live stream for a couple hours and you think this looks boring, probably going to be boring to you. But if you do think it looks enjoyable, I'm confident in saying that I do think you will get your money's worth out of the base game. I think it's reasonably priced for the amount of content available, especially that mid-game grind. Some of you who just are slower players like myself, you're going to get many hours out of the mid-game for sure. And if you enjoy that kind of grind, that resource gathering, or just doing dungeons over and over and over again, yeah, you're gonna have a good time. All right, we're gonna wrap it up there. I've rambled long enough. Hopefully you all found this video helpful and informational. If you did, please consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other videos. And if you're looking for some more of my content, you can find a link to another one of my videos on the screen right now. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to all of my channel supporters. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to become an official channel supporter, check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy and you like to comment, just hit that thumbs up and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Ooh, 210,000 gold. It's a good Friday night. Kind of quiet. But I don't mind it. Just doing the grind. Oh. Okay. To buy fire crystals. Gotta see what mithril is. $35. So mithril's a bad market. Okay, I go in and try and get a little bit more progress on this scoundrel quest.
I have what you're looking for. Thank you. Welcome back anytime.
Fuck, I always turn wrong here. What? Oh, you can bow pull, I guess, or at least these guys. Yeah, you can. 11 more. Do some eye drops. My eyes kind of hurt. That jackass kind of looked like he wanted to kill me. I don't know. I could have maybe taken shots at him, or at least killed the horse, maybe. Then they're loose on the ground, but I don't know. This guy killed his way back out again. It's way faster to just shoot them in the goddamn face. Three out of 30. The game is not very balanced. Hey, my strength went up. Nice. I had no idea how strong archery really was. I thought it sucked. It doesn't suck for PvE. It sucks for PvP, but... That guy just killed all these. And I killed the respawns. Maybe there's loot in the box. Or maybe he's down here. Nice. Eat the food. There it is. Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. This isn't the way out of here, is it? No, let's just go. One of these ways is the way out. The fuck if I remember where... Excuse me. I want the way out. Will you let me out? least I'm getting clayed. Not very much clayed, but... Ooh, you let me out of here? I don't know. I'm okay with just dying at this point, too. Although I do have, like, I don't know. Yeah, like, I don't know, 8. Almost 12 golden heads. Yeah, I did not know it went this deep. Gotta throw something away. Flakestone's worth something, but the corrupts, that's like a pound. The pound won't matter though, it's their heads. Yeah, I don't need their loot anymore, really. I'll just throw a stack of heads away so I can move. Yeah, like that. That's a bit better. Stuff doesn't weigh too much, I don't think. That's a pretty good amount of it. Yeah, how deep does this motherfucker go? I don't think I've ever come down this far. Doesn't this end? I think I have gone down this far, and it like ends and it drops you back out, but you have to like go back up and drop down, I think. Or there's like a boss. I can't remember. I think there's a boss too, but I don't think most people normally go this deep. Ooh, the arrows actually. So I can like pull one at a time. I like the stick anthrope because all the incidental damage doesn't add up. Yeah, one of these is like oh. He's done better about like the mobs are getting better. Wow, I've not been down this far. I missed him, son of a bitch. Here, fucker. This dead ends here. God damn it. Wait, there was like a bag of loot right there. Okay. Ooh, arrows. That's good. Because I need them. Will you let me out of here? Oh, maybe you will. Maybe you will let me out of here. I believe I'll do some gold beast coins. Just see if I can make some money. $22.5. $22.5. Out. Well, let's cook them and sell them. Oh my god, there's more? How deep does this go and why? Why did you make this big? This is what's below for Burnham sewers. It just goes on needlessly forever. Do I have to run all the way the fuck back out again? You better let me out of here. Oh my god, there's nothing over here. Why? 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 Like, why? What the hell is in there? I don't have arrows. I guess I can... Oh my god, you had to move as I fired, huh? Keep picking up their heads, which just isn't wise. I like the combat though, it is fun. It's like visceral and fun. Let me out of here. What's in there? Is it some terrible boss? I'll fight him if it is. No, you're gonna like block me here, aren't you? You are. Well, let's just go see what the content is at least. What? Why? Oh my god, does it dead end? Why? Oh no, the sewer king. Oh god. Nice. What? Oh. Maybe I'll die here. I don't know. Maybe I can run from him a bit long enough to bandage to full. Maybe that's a possibility. I don't want to die here. I can tell you that. Will he just chase me around? I bet he will. Let's just see if I can just bandage to full. Who cares? I don't want to lose to him. You let me out of here? Maybe he dropped something good. I think I can take stabs at him and he won't stop me. Yeah, like that. What was that? I got him again. Got him again. Wow, run cutting is actually really effective. The mob can't seem to really do anything about it. Right in his goddamn face. Ah. So that's cheating. I beat him first try. 100 glory. Please let me out of here. Oh god, I don't know what's... Oh. I bandaged. What all did he drop? It was, oh, scribing. Oh, he dropped a scribing book? Wait. Oh god, before I die... I've got to get out of here. I don't know. Am I going to die? I don't know. I'm going to die. There's a barrel. Describing book. Can I, here, drop out mounted archery. Because it's as high as I can go. Yes! I think that's actually really good. Scribing. I think those sell for a lot. Man. Oh, I'm still underweight though. Cool. Here's a bag. Nice. Some money. Do I have to go all the way the fuck back out again? Well, this was a way successful run. Let's just drop the heads because I don't care about that. I definitely need to remain underweight. Now I just want to get out. Like, I mean, in 100, can't get out of here, huh? Damn it. I want to go before the respawns. Damn it, I have to go all the way the fuck back out. That sucks so bad. Damn it. It's gonna take me so long to get out of here. I could just log here, but I don't know. I don't think it'll let me. You should let it pop the crate, and the crate should take you all the way through the tubes up to the top. Oh well, I guess running back out isn't that slow, and I can just You know, carve through any fucking bandits I see. Oh, yeah, I think my magic book is... That's cool. So he drops a scribing book. I wonder if he always drops that. Shit, can I get out that way? I know I'm gonna aggro them. I think this is the way I came in, and then I turn left and go down there. I think I did, and like, I think you can get out one of these ways. I don't know though. I wonder what a stack of cold porridge goes for. Will you let me out? Does that go out? I hope it does. Nice, my strength's going up. let me out. Oh, who's that? It's a bandit leader. Oh, that's not too good. Bandit leader. He might be nastier. This is like the best day Immortal I've ever had. Please tell me this doesn't end here. Does this end here? It ends here. He's like standing in a cop, so it doesn't go anywhere. Damn it. You're so annoying. How many days did you have in here? I want to fight him, and at this point, I don't care if they kill me. I mean, I would like to get this gear out of here. I suppose getting a nice bow open with a full bar might be wise. Alright, you fucker. On guard. Ah! The way you run is so annoying. Ah. Ha 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 ha. That was a good play. I thought if you parried. Asshole. Got him. 30 glory. Ooh, he had an amethyst. I wonder what that's worth. And his head's worth 4. But I'll probably have to toss like another stack of heads here just to get out of here. That's okay. I've got so much stupid stuff. That's okay. The porridge is probably worth the most out of all of this. Well, I got the whole dungeon, but this is still not the end. Like, getting out of here is still so annoying. Ooh, there's a chest. What's in the chest? Eh, 20 silver. About 40 silver. You should let me out of here with some clever trick or something. Damn it. You're... Alright. I'll fight my way back out of this hellhole. This is like the longest dungeon I've ever seen in an MMO. Totally pointlessly long. Fuck, I don't want to fight these. I better sit. At least I have 38 broadhead arrows now. Hey. What? does it all circle around? No, that's a dead end with like 2 bandits in it. Yeah. Are they protecting something? I don't care. I'm just gonna leave. I'm not after them. Oh, it's a passive skill, scribing. Nice. Wow. Apparently, the way you move is actually a lot more about the damage than, like, the physics are more about the damage than I initially thought. Let me out of this place. It's too long. I want to go to bed. I have a protest in the morning. Or in the afternoon. Let me out of here. Let me out of here. Oh, did you see me, you son of a bitch? How do you get out of here? Oh, good. My strength went to 105. Yeah. This dungeon is way too long. But I got what I wanted to do done. Even if I die. Ew. Wait, isn't that the way out, though? No, no. Let me out. Let me out. This dungeon is so pointlessly, stupidly big. Let me out. Let me out. The run speed is so goddamn bad. Let me out. Let me out. The run speed is so goddamn bad. Let me out. Let me out. The dungeon is way too long. Let me out. Let me out. I've got a protest to go in the morning. Let me out. Let me out. Is that it? No, that's not it. God damn it. Isn't one of these the way out? Oh, it just keeps on going. There's so many fights. It's so many fights. I'm learning how to kill the PvE, which is you charge up and you wait, and it's going to be so much damage. When they finally see it hurts so much. Yeah, see, yeah, trading blows is okay. Got money. I better get my gray back. Oh no, you saw me. Get my spear out and charge him in the face. Ouchies. Face. Sooner or later you're gonna do it. Oh. Sorry. Let me out. Let me out. This dungeon takes way too long. Let me out. There needs to be a Hearthstone or something. Let me out. This game needs Hearthstone. What? Did you see me or what? Oh, this is a good way to get strength up. Just wailing people with spear, on people with a spear. I wonder if I'm gonna break this spear. No, but I've broken it down like a third though. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. I went out of this dungeon. Let me out. Let me out. This walk was way, way, way too long. Let me out. I got to protest in the morning. This is way too long. It's way too long. Let me out. Let me out. This is way, 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 way too long. There, I think that's the exit. That's the exit. We can leave. Fuck you. I knew you were going to swing through there. You have to. Die, you. Yep, right through the back of your head. Oh. Die, you. Frame rate drops in here for some reason. Because I think it's like loading fab and it's leaving the dungeon behind. Fab is a load, yeah. Wow. I made it through and I killed both bosses and I learned scribing, which is something I think most people can't do. I think the scribing book goes for like 300G. I'll look when I'm in town. But I think it was good what I got. And, you know, 100 clay was pretty good. Yeah, we got like a little bit of real progress here. And when I turn in, it'll be even more. And I'm even ready for a session tomorrow. Or I don't know about tomorrow. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow's going to be like. I may take the evening off. I don't know. Get gold beast coins here. Oops, wrong one. No, it was the right one. What the hell? I'm gonna make it. I got out of this stupid place. Yay. Is that like a little hiding spot where you can hide and gank? Nope. Oh no, where am I? Oh god, yeah, you can exit out of that fucking dungeon in so many different ways. Where the hell am I? Oh, I'm at the graveyard? Oh, I'm home. Well, nice, I'm home. I didn't know it spat you out back home. Man, I really could, like, shoot some arrows over the wall. I never really thought about that. What can they do? Maybe I could down them in there and they'll never even know where it's coming from. Well, shit, I guess I'll go dump all this. There's really no reason not to. I got 165 flake stone, which I think is pretty good. was a good Mortal session. Getting towards 14 hours here, 13 minutes and 50 seconds, 13 hours and 13 hours and 50 minutes. This is a good place to stop. I will dump all this, and then I will go and run and turn in, I guess, and log in the town. Or no, I'll just log here. I don't need to do that right now. Gold. Wait, 14 gold in the end? How did I pull 14 gold? When I went in there, I had 1 gold. Now I have 14 gold. Nice. That dungeon run, that's a good run. Oh, I want extra arrows. Yeah, I was gonna go get a pig, but I mean, eh. Like into the graveyard. I wonder if somebody in there is like, whoa, an arrow just landed by my fucking face. And they're like, what the fuck? Yeah, can you fire like rogue arrows into the fucking town? I think they probably did something about that. My scribing is gonna be full. Nice. Like past the church. You can really, like, if you shoot skyward, you can get that arrow to shoot so far, like into goddamn Fab. I wonder if you hit a guard and if it gives you aggro and it like kicks you out for 5 solid minutes. Scribing increased to 11. Nice. I'm glad I got the scribing book. Okay, I'm safe. Tomorrow, I'll tune in probably around 2 o'clock or something like that in 12 hours. And I will drive down. I'm going to listen to some Rage Against the Machine in my car as I drive down to what's it called? The No Kings protest in Bellingham, Washington. And I'm going to record. And yeah, and I'm gonna record, and I'm gonna I'm gonna do a no agenda, like sort of like, you know, no commentary, just recording of the Bellingham, Washington Three Kings protest. 50 gold. 1500 glory. Tell me it's a level. No, I got to do a bunch more of these before I get that, but that's all right. We're getting there. We're getting there. Veteran bandit, which I wish it was just, you know, 10 veteran bandit. Damn it. Well, let's look that up. Come on, we should look at this one. Mountain spiders probably aren't too bad, actually. 8 of them, but I don't know. Finding them might be really annoying. Well, let's go put the silver away. Here's 100 gold and silver. 142 gold and silver. Let's go exchange it.
See what I have for you. Thank you.
Nice, 142 in silver. Almost makes me want to buy a horse. Oops, 142 gold. Is in there. Okay, we are ready to roll. I'm going to turn this game off. I don't really feel like going to bed yet. Nice, 400k, not bad. Yeah, tomorrow's kind of an off day for me. I'm gonna wake up late, and I'm going to go to the protest, and then I'm going to be there for like 4 hours. I'm going to come home and play video games until probably like 2 in the morning or something like that. But yeah. I'm hoping tomorrow. Let's see what the weather app says about the weather. Oh, it is. It's supposed to be. Oh, it's supposed to be a sunny day, but it's not going to be warm. It's probably going to be. I mean, it's supposed to be a sunny afternoon, but I don't think it's going to be very warm. I think it's going to be a cold day. Nightmare Isle, modded proc-gen. Okay. Thought I would hop on Rust and see if I can make it to a harbor and snag a tugboat. And I don't expect I probably will, but it'll give me like, you know, a little half an hour session to end up the thing while I watch something.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look. Al Jazeera. Smoke billowing in Tel Aviv after a barrage of missiles targeted central Israel. The Iranian retaliation has started, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's going to be limited. I think it's going to be restrained. I don't think that it's going to, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think Iran has the smoke. But perhaps I'm wrong.
Can do, and so there was an expectation of a very violent response from Iran, and this.
Oh, Bibi's on the run.
You know, as we've been hearing from military experts and analysts in Israel, is the beginning of such a response. We don't know, like I said, we don't have confirmation.
Can you imagine if Greece,
on the location,
a signatory of the ICC, can you imagine if Greece turned around and arrested Benjamin Netanyahu? Please, for the love of Christ and all things holy, for the love of Allah, for the love of all the gods, okay? Could you imagine a world where during this Iranian retaliation, it's an excellent five-head play, an excellent 5D chess move, where Benjamin Netanyahu, of course, flies. I can't believe you were talking so highly of Greece and you call yourself a Turk. I mean, guys, I'm desperate, okay? I'm desperate for justice. I'm desperate for justice. So yes, in desperate times, even a Turk such as myself will hope for Greece to do the right thing and not assume that they will be cowardly participants, except they are going to be cowardly participants, let's be real, but I'm just fantasizing.
Israel is in a state of emergency. Schools have been shut down since the early morning hours, businesses as well. Everything by way of a normal daily routine has been halted, and only the very basics, the more than crucial activities are being allowed to proceed, including public transportation, that it's only being allowed to be used if absolutely necessary. Hospitals are on high alert. They've been told to clear as many beds as possible.
Medics in Tel Aviv, no initial injuries reported, and that is expected.
Attention in smaller facilities. So there are those precautions, there are those preparations, plans that have been in place for months, if not years. They keep being updated on a regular basis because attacking Iran has been central to Israeli foreign policy, certainly under the leadership of Benjamin Netanyahu for many, many years. And the Israeli bureaucracy, the Israeli army is ready in terms of planning of how to respond, how to anticipate and try to mitigate any kind of damage to civilian infrastructure.
ABC special report just started. God damn, dude.
Right, well, moments ago, the skies of Tel Aviv were ablaze with Iran.
And so
fired
we're
a
waiting to
barrage
get the all
of
clear.
missiles
We heard
towards
the radio
Israel.
announcement
Some
on the
projectiles
loudspeaker like
seen
we've
there
heard before,
clearly.
telling people to get to a shelter, and we'll be here until we get the all clear when it's apparently deemed safe to be able to leave the shelter for that.
Israeli Ministry of Defense headquarters has just been struck. Okay, there's going to be a lot of fake news that's flying around everywhere, by the way, and there's a lot of backstory that I have to cover. But obviously the breaking story is happening at this very moment. Had to get into it immediately. But yes, moments ago, Iranian missiles were launched towards Israel, and from what I understand, multiple missiles have not been successfully intercepted. Remember, this is a multi-billion-dollar operation. You got Tamir interceptors that are for the smaller munitions, and you have the Arrow systems in Israel as well. But then on top of that, you have anti-defense missile systems to protect Israel and Jordan, and you have the entirety of the American Central Command working actively in real time to stop all of these missiles from touching a hair on the head of anyone in Israel. And even then, in spite of all of that, Iranian missiles have been able to penetrate into Tel Aviv, as you have seen before, and they're still doing it. You can see it. Look, the ones that are flying from the ground are the interceptor missiles. They're anti-defense missile systems, and yet, in spite of that, the Iron Dome can be overwhelmed, as the Iranian retaliation last time around showed. This seemingly, according to Elit News, who's in the chat already, appears to be in the vicinity of IDF headquarters. We don't have enough information coming yet. Obviously, Israel also has deep censorship laws. I mean, even though they got hella smartphones out there, and there's like literally Israeli chatters in here who can just like confirm or deny what's going on. But I think last time when this happened, the Israeli military immediately applied censorship and tried to stop the information from coming out, like confirming strike targets and whatnot. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because obviously in the interim there is going to be some misinformation. There's going to be a lot of misinformation flying around as always. So be aware of that when you're bringing in information here and try to go after trusted resources. I suspect that Iran is not done yet. This barrage is just simply the first salvo. There will be more that comes. In terms of self-preservation, self-defense, and ensuring that they do not get completely eviscerated, I suspect that the Iranian government's calculation here is going to be part restrained, so not so aggressive that they actively try to take out like heads of state or anything like that, just like Israel itself demonstrates some of that restraint in comparison to how belligerent they are when they don't actually go after, you know, heads of state and stuff like that. But they assassinated a big chunk of the military command. They assassinated some top military officials, some nuclear scientists in residential areas. I don't know the exact number of casualties in Iran due to the Israeli strikes, but there was a relatively sophisticated infiltration campaign that Mossad had conducted, as far as I understand. This is not like glazed to Israel at all, but I think it also shows a weakness within Iranian national security that directly stems from the resentment that the Iranian population, some in the Iranian population, have towards this administration due to its fundamentalist attitudes, especially amongst the Iranian youth, and also the fact that the country is in turmoil economically, and it's much easier to basically purchase allegiances internally within Iran. The fact that Mossad was able to create a drone shop inside of Tehran, from what I understand, and then utilize those drones immediately to take out anti-air defense systems that Iran has, and then go after the missile salvo, goes beyond the notion of Israel gets to do whatever it wants and can use overwhelming force because they're backed by the most powerful country on the planet. Obviously, that plays a major role. There are no repercussions for Israel, but make no mistake, the very fact that they are able to build a drone facility, like a tiny drone facility, inside of Iranian national boundaries implies that there are massive leaks within the IRGC, within the Iranian government, and that they can take advantage of the Iranian population's discontent to a certain degree. So this is a major problem for Iranian sovereignty in general. This is a major problem for Iranian security, and I suspect that a big part of the reason why this is even taking place, or even took place, is because of that glaringly obvious weakness, one that I have even mentioned in the past. The regime's attitude and fundamentalist attitude specifically paired up with the economic sanctions strangling the economy of Iran and causing volatility creates a major weakness that the Israeli intelligence
look, real marijuana plants.
Successfully. Now, like I said, does Iran have the capability of really punishing Israel, like doing the deed, right? Doing the thing that people are worried about, understandably, like killing a bunch of civilians or potentially even assassinating like heads of state, or
he
even
took
simultaneously
the
activating
recycler away
that I
from
suspect
Barn.
they might have internally inside of Israel, as they did last time around. No, it's not, of course, not situation. It's more so governments have tremendous power. Does Israel have the power to assassinate the Iranian head of state? Yes. Did they do that? No, not yet, at least. Okay? You forget. Just as Iran has more power than what it is showing right now. Okay? Israel calls for regime change all the time. There's a difference between calling for regime change for decades and then actually forcibly decapitating the regime. The idea that Iran does not have enough prowess or enough power to be able to really deal a massive blow to Israel in spite of Israel's unimaginable defense capabilities that we are paying for, by the way, the answer is they could. It's more so a matter of, do they want it? do they want the American response that will come in retaliation? Are they willing to withstand? Are they willing to go to the unimaginable? Are they willing to go to the place where maybe it's World War III, Because Israel's goal very clearly, in unison with the United States of America, because Israel and America are not separate entities. They work alongside one another. They're hand in glove. Israel and America is the same, okay? I need you to understand this. This is a very important thing that people refuse to recognize. This is the reason why I kept repeating myself over and over again, saying Donald Trump and Israel are like this. There is no real divide. The only divide maybe could be from how narcissistic he is, but beyond that, in terms of foreign policy goals, this is not Israel's doing, this is America's doing. America is the primary responsible party here. America and Israel are like this. They are one inseparable unit. Israel is simply America's wishes in the region, America's grand design in the region, okay? That's precisely the reason why myself and a few other people, in the process of Donald Trump doing his Middle Eastern conversations, in the process of getting Edon Alexander, it was myself, Zay Squirrel, I think it was 4 other people that were this is both, and it's most likely not going to amount to anything, in spite of the fact that plenty of very smart commentators were still assuming that there could be a real separation between Israel and America here, but it was not happening. It was all just smoke and mirrors, and very clearly the negotiation process, I said, the negotiation process was being used to basically develop this perfectly crafted strike against Iran, a fairly sophisticated military campaign that they've obviously been implementing, that they've obviously been planning for quite a while. They don't get to do this without America's go-ahead. They don't get to do this without America's logistics. I'm talking about Israel, of course, and what they did last night, and I covered this extensively, when they struck Tehran, and they struck the nuclear facility as well, one of the nuclear facilities, and killed a bunch of nuclear scientists and also high-level IRGC commanders. Now, while Iran does clearly have the targeting capabilities of striking Tel Aviv and overwhelming the Iron Dome, as we have shown, Iron Dome is not the only defense that Israel has. There's numerous defenses. Will they actually deploy enough munitions to really punish Israel, to really actually show Israel their prowess and force Israel to back away, force Israel to back down, especially now that Israel has communicated, as we covered yesterday, on numerous occasions that they are invested in a much longer military campaign here, okay? Because they called the American troops to move away from Bahrain and Kuwait. They called the embassies to pull out. Americans did, knowing full well that Iran was going to retaliate. And then the Israeli government came out and basically said, this is our big, last, final huzzah. This is the thing that they have been waiting for, attacking Iran and pulling America into the battle and basically going to war with Iran is the final design, is the final piece of the puzzle for Israel and America's ambitions in the region.
Thank you, Hassan, for the excellent concert from my stream. I'd like to sub to your channel.
I'm going to tell you something. Enthusiasm is not for naught. We have a great show for you tonight. Stephen A. Smith is going to be joining me later. But first, I want to talk about this very briefly. I was in Los Angeles over the weekend getting BBL from a celebrity doctor. And quick question. For those of you who live in that area, is your city ever not on fire? Whether you win a basketball championship, a World Series championship, whether you have an exploding pinata gender reveal gone wrong, congratulations, it's a boy and an evacuation. Or you're just protesting the Trump administration's expanded deportation raids, LA continues to be our most flammable city.
Oh.
This weekend's combustion was the very predictable result of a liberal city reliant on an immigrant population colliding with a heavy-handed MAGA migrant trawling operation looking to hit its quota of brown Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. Yes, America.
Oh.
This is where we started.
We got to get the criminals out first. We're going to get the criminals, the murderers, the drug dealers.
And this is where we are now.
Protests started following ICE raids at the Home Depot parking lot in Paramount, south of the city.
Home Depot. From the worst of the worst to a f***ing Home Depot? Geez, ICE, if you need assistance in arresting people, you know, those guys are looking for work, so... It's an explosive situation on the cusp of federalism versus states' rights, border control versus due process, terrifyingly militarized sweeps versus hardworking people in local communities, the United States Marines versus the Postmates guy who brought you an egg sandwich. It's going to require a deft and firm, experienced and wise. I think you know where I'm going with this. A deft touch from leadership in Washington.
Well, we're going to have troops everywhere. We're not going to let this happen to our country. They spit, that's their new thing. And when that happens, I have a little statement. They say, they spit, we hit.
Well done, Mr. Churchill. When they spit, we hit. For the love of God, someone protect Hawk Tua girl. Now, obviously, this is a bit of a change in attitude from Trump towards protecting law enforcement from his previous January 6th attitude of, they hit, we don't give a shit. So why this escalation?
Top Trump aide Stephen Miller.
Oh. What is it young Lord Vader wanted?
Stephen Miller held a meeting screaming at ICE officials to arrest more undocumented immigrants.
Yeah, that sounds like him. Although I'm pretty sure Stephen Miller wasn't screaming. I think it's just his default tone is banshee. It's what happens when oxygen molecules are desperate to exit his unholy lungs. So it just comes out like...
Miller setting a new quota of 3,000 arrests per day to include more than just migrants with criminal records.
Miller reportedly asked ICE officials, hey, why aren't you at Home Depot?
And don't say because they're not bothering anybody down there, because they're bothering me. Lest you say at home. I'm sure that's an exaggeration. I'm sure Stephen Miller understands overwhelmingly that these are people and not monsters.
They released people into this nation, not people, monsters. Deport, deport, deport.
Deport, deport, deport. I'm going to guess that's what Stephen Miller shouts when he Deport! 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 And then obviously to be sensitive to his partner, he has to be like, you deported too, right?
Did you get there?
And then she probably goes, you know, yeah. And then goes into the shower and self-deports.
Server went down.
Yeah. You're very kind. So now, predictably, these non-targeted, much broader deportation efforts in cities that feel very connected to the immigrant population.
Okay, guys, I'm going to stop the stream here. I'm going to stop the recording here, but I'm also going to place the videos on my YouTube channel before I go to bed. So this video is going to end here with a bit of station identification, which is you've been watching Skycatlive. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Click on the cast space to donate. Come to the Twitch or the YouTube. Give me a like, sub, or a follow. Thank you so much for anybody who's given me a like, sub, or a follow. Thank you for the bits, Courage Celestia. Thank you for the bits. Yep, no, sweet. And cool. Wait, we're doing better than we were. Oh, thank you, Amir. How's ya? So there we go. And oh, am I full gold? No, I don't have any gold. Let's do mithril real quick. Okay. So I will stop here. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I am going to stop the recording here. You've been watching Skycat Live. Come click on the Cast Face Donate. That's a PayPal link. Thank you for your time. I love you so much. It's good to see you.